So we're talking about our notes here from Live Out Loud. So we're talking about what excites you the most. And so if you're the most excited about the products or about your results or about the money or about the team, about the community, that's the type of stuff that you want to talk about on your stories and post about and put out there to attract the type of people you want to bring into this team. And so find out what your immediate drivers are. What are your short-term goals? And in that process, say, I get to reach these short-term goals. And so that's just kind of switching some of that mentality. Like, I get to do these reach outs. I get to join these calls. I get to meet with these people. Lyndon B. Johnson said, yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose. That's a good one. If you could live your ideal life, what would that look like? That's a good question to ask your people upon the enrollment process. So I read a book recently. It's called Never Lose a Customer Again. Highly recommend. Super good. It talks about the first phase is when you get to know them, you build that relationship. And then the next phase is after they've ordered. And that's when you want to talk to them and get real deep. Like if you guys have ever watched Delray Messer and some of her verbiage and stuff, she gets really deep when she's asking about, what are you doing for your kids' future? Like, what does your ideal life look like? Things like that. If time and money were of no issue, what would you be doing? What if I could show you a way to achieve that? And that's when you start going into sharing the compensation plan. You talk about it, not just in the you share, they share, but get deep and share the unlimited potential that can really come with this vehicle. This is another great quote by Susan Sly, one of our own. Massive action neutralizes negative emotion. So I wrote that one down too. I thought that one was really great. Choose courage over comfort. Sometimes getting out of our comfort zone is the most uncomfortable thing ever. I feel like I've lived in out of my comfort zone all summer, and it's been just sometimes like massive. And so it takes courage. And, it's important to remember that we are looking for courageous people, and you have to set that example sometimes. And so there may be people that were in your boat before, and you look at them and you're like, gosh, like I want to bring in so-and-so because they were just like I was back in the day, but they have to be ready, and you have to show them how to get ready. Now, this was the end portion of Live Out Loud. And Emily kind of came back up and wrapped this up. So these are some target goals. I want you guys, if you're taking notes, to write this stuff down. What's next? Set your hours of operation. And so whether you have a crazy busy schedule or, you're only available 2 hours a week, set those hours of operation and set your intent. So a team meeting is not an hour of operation. Watching a video is not an hour of operation. Being a part of community events like Live Out Loud or any other Time Out Tuesdays, those are not hours of operation. Hours of operation are specifically meant for you to do the business. It's not for your social media. It's not for, planning or presenting. It's for reach outs. It's for talking to people, sending messages, doing things that are actual income producing activities. I will spend 2 hours fixing my Instagram sometimes. And while that supports my business, it's not actually income producing. And so you want to distinguish those two different pathways of what supports your business and what's income producing. Events are income producing. And so just to give you guys some ideas of what I'm going to be doing here in California. So if you have anybody that's in the LA area, please feel free. I'm going to post some of my ideas so you guys can kind of, emulate it if you want. Every third Thursday, I have found a restaurant that's local and very neutral. It's in Redondo Beach. We are going to have a female energy boss babe vibe happy hour. And one of my friends helped me come up with that. And the reason why I came up with that is because I'm looking for women with business style energy, right? And so I'm inviting those who have businesses or have some sort of a boss babe energy. And we are going to meet for happy hour. I'm going to share some of my secret weapons for health with them. That's my kind of pitch, which is going to be so they know that I'm sharing my business. And so it's not like a surprise when I whip out the collagen and I'm like, hey guys, anybody want to try some collagen? They know it's coming. And then I can coordinate with them, every month like who else wants to do a 10-minute, spiel on their business? And that way it's providing value for them. And I'm also, this is what I've decided to do. I'm going to cover the appetizers. So I'm going to probably get like a spinach dip and, hummus plate or something like that. And I'm going to cover that because I feel like it just adds a little nice touch to it. So I'm going to budget that into my business account. So you guys do whatever works for you. I chose this because it's a restaurant, things like that. Another thing that me and my crew here are going to do, and I work with 2 other people that are not in our team. They're not even in Team VisionCast, but they're in my local area. So just keep that in mind too, that if you find somebody else that's in Isagenix, that's in your state, in your area, and you want to run with them, do it. People really respect that, especially in the network marketing community, that we have the type of team and environment that is constantly trying to support one another, regardless if we're financially connected or not. So we're also going to do every other Sunday hikes. And so whether it's going to be the Hollywood sign or a golf course or, something like that, we're going to do every other Sunday hikes, and we're going to call it Boots and Bubbles. And so maybe I'll bring some BIA, maybe I'll bring some adaptogen. Don't always have to provide samples, but it's going to be an opportunity to, again, in like my little badge that I'm going to create on Canva, I'm going to share that this is going to be, learn some of my health secrets, come and, communicate, have a great community session, get some steps in and some beautiful scenery. Let's take some awesome pictures, whatever. So it's providing value. So that was part of the set hours of operation. Book your next Isagenix launch or opportunity party. So those were a couple of ideas. Those are not necessarily a launch party, right? I was going to do an in-home launch party. I live on a military base, so the only people that can really come are other military people. And so I wanted to think outside the box. Me and Marcy are also going to have events, like sometimes on the beach or sometimes, just in a park or whatever. Or if we can get salons and things like that involved, like ask them, can we do something in your event? So even if you guys right here are like, I've already done lunch parties, I've tried them, they're not working, this and that. Inspire your people when you're in onboarding them. Let's book a party. And if they're like, oh my gosh, does it have to be one of those parties where like you stand up in front of us and present? Be like, if you don't want to do that, we don't have to do that. Why don't we just have a happy hour? Why don't we just do something like this? Why don't we, go on, like have a park party and everybody potluck or whatever? Like people are craving this kind of interaction and community right now. And so lean in on that. And then drive to the next rank. So if you haven't printed out the road back to executive, you need to have that on your wall next to your desk, wherever you work. And this is what I want you to do. In pencil, you can do pen if you're really that bold. I want you to write names of the type of people you want on your team. And so say you've got a girlfriend, Roberta, and you're like, she would be so good at what I do, but she's not open yet. Write that name down and manifest it. And then write down, oh my gosh, like I know the owner of the salon down the street, his name is Robert and Roberta, and they are, he would be great at this too. Like write it down and just visualize it. So visualize as if you're already an executive with these people, and whether or not those people actually join or they have already joined or, whatever, you are still seeing and visualizing yourself as an executive, and it's right there in front of you. You can act as if. And here's a tip too. Don't ever let anybody know truly what your rank is in this company, because you should be posturing up as an executive always with multiple stars behind your name. So even if people are like, what rank are you? Just say, I am so excited I'm running to executive. That's all you need to say. Even if you're an associate right now, or even if you're, a consultant, or you were a paid as and now you're not. So always posture up like, I'm so excited to get to executive. That is my goal. That's where it's at. Now, they talked a lot about Penny, and Penny is kind of a controversial thing. If you guys don't have the app, the Penny app, it is great for funneling in names of people to reach out to. It also gives you IsaBody challenge reminders, auto ship reminders. If somebody just ordered, it'll tell you when they got their box. If you pay the paid version, it will tell you what they ordered, which is the only place that you can do that. So it's like $11.99 a month or something. So Penny, it has so many great features, but I'm telling you, a lot of people, they really struggle with it because it It just has a couple of like hard steps. So if you can use it for at least one or two of the good aspects that it has, lean into that. So if you just go in there and don't use it for reach outs, you just use it for auto ship reminders and you just use it for IsaBody challenge and for box openings, just focus in on that. If you can't do that because that is annoying to you, just use it for reach outs. It will give you 5 names a day. It will give you 10 names a day or 20 names a day. But one of the top earners that shared on the director and above call yesterday said that she lives religiously on the 5 by 5 by 5 rule. Pour love into 5 people. That means comment on their Facebook, text them that you love their hat, comment on their photo about their kids. Just pour love into 5 people. Reach out to 5 new people. So there's so many ways that you can meet 5 new people. Facebook, you know, I mean, obviously social media, but you can also meet them by going to all these different meetup sites or, you know, the gym or anything. Just get 5 new people every day. And finally, 5 follow-ups. So those 5 follow-ups are going to be people that you've already chatted with prior. So day 1, you're probably not going to have any follow-ups, but day 2 and on you will. And so it will compound whatever way you want to keep a hold of your list of these people, whether it's on paper, on an Excel spreadsheet, or on Penny. Just make sure that you are following it, because there's not a soul that has made a single dollar in Isagenix that won't tell you the fortune is in the follow-up. And so make sure you are following up. I recently had somebody sign up with me that they had heard about Isagenix from somebody else that never followed up with them. And so just keep that in mind. If you are not checking back in with these people, they will go with somebody else that will check in with them. So next is go for the no. And these were all put on like one of the slides from her. So we had a team call a couple weeks back where Gus explained this very simple concept where you ask people questions about that is going to immediately offer them the opportunity to say no. So would you be opposed to watching Wealth Wednesday? They're going to say, no, I'm not opposed to watching Wealth Wednesday. Boom, you already got the no. Then you can say, oh my gosh, here you go. That's just one example. Would you be opposed to meeting my friend Sadie, my friend Robin, my friend Laura, my friend Christy, my friend Jean? Like, would you be opposed to meeting them and learning about what I do? Would you be opposed to taking a look at a short video? And they're immediately gonna be like, no, I'm not opposed to doing that. Like, of course, that's too easy. And if they do say, yes, I am opposed, then just say, okay, no worries. Like, you know, and just bounce back and try a different approach, or just mark them off as a pour love into them. They're probably going through some crap right now. It's okay. And just remember that their reaction is not personal. That's a direct reflection on what they have going on in their life. So if you ever get a nasty response ever, that is a direct reflection on them, and you don't need that kind of negativity in your life, and you should take it as a blessing because you won't want them on your team anyway. I'm reading a really good book now. I'm always down to read new books. It's a very short little book. It's called The 4 Agreements, and it really helps you to take words at its face value and understand that just because somebody says like, hey, you're ugly, like that's a reflection on them, not you. And if you agree to that, that is your problem, not theirs. Just because they said it doesn't mean you have to agree.
What's it called?
The 4 Agreements.
The 4 Agreements.
Yes. And I can put it in the Dream Team chat. I can put the books for that one and the Never Lose a Customer Again in the chat. And the 4 Agreements, it's like very short. I think it comes in like a little book size, like kind of like a little pocket book, but I am borrowing it from the library, and on my iPhone, it was only 129 swipes. So it's really short. So super easy, quick to read, and it kind of comes shooting out of the gun. So be prepared. And honestly, I'm reading it at a time right now where like, it was like meant for me to read it because I have some weird drama going on that just like came out of nowhere. And I'm like, that's their problem. It's a reflection on them. It's their problem, not me. So I was telling my friend Rena that, and she's like, girl, you know, like stuff will come into your lap when you need it the most. And I was like, that's so true. So those were Lisa's. I'm going to give all of that credit to Lisa's notes here. So she and I were going to do this together, and she's not feeling well. And so that was her portion. So I'm going to kind of go through some of mine now too. So I want everybody to think of this as yourself as a tree. Now, if you've ever done yoga, or if you've ever, done anything that like with chakras or with anything like that, like, or meditation, you are rooted into the earth. You've got roots that go deep in systems, and those roots are your values. And those roots and those values should be 100% about love, loving yourself, loving others. This is a gift. This is a service. You are handing people answers to their prayers. And whether that's a financial prayer, a nutritional prayer, a community prayer, you are answering their prayers. So be rooted like a giant redwood tree into the ground in love, or palm tree, whatever kind of tree you want to be. So I wrote that down because that really sat with me. And be a full-bodied expression of self. And so be real and raw and vulnerable. It's really hard for me to do that, but I've started to really focus on being vulnerable and being relatable, because if people think like my dad just said this when I was up in Minnesota and I was going to Time Out Tuesday, I think he was meaning it as like a compliment, but he's like, Sadie's going to go hang out with the beautiful people. And I'm like, we come in all shapes and sizes, Dad. Like, not everybody in Isagenix is a beautiful people. And so, I mean, like, I think he meant it as a compliment, like trying to tell me that I was beautiful too. But I'm like, we don't have to be like, we're all in one box right here. So, just be real and authentic, and like show that, you are more than just a physical expression of yourself. You are an emotional expression of yourself, and you are relatable. What we have is the freedom on the other side of doing what scares you. And so it goes back to that getting out of your comfort zone. And so that is where freedom lies. And that's what we are all working towards, whether it's financial freedom or freedom of aches and pains or freedom of debt or freedom of all these things. Like, really tap into your brave heart here and yell freedom, and just really go for it, because that is kind of the goal. And so just know that it's going to scare you, and it's okay. We are all here to help you through that and to be by your side with our war paint on as well. Again, I wrote down, what do you want, in big letters, because I just can't stop picturing Emily saying, what do you want? So get clear, work on your short-term immediate goals. So here's what
I saw some, that clip. I don't remember who posted it, but her saying, like screaming, like, what do you want? It was a good one. I wish I kind of like screen recorded that clip, because it's good to have.
I did some video, but like all of a sudden I'm like, I just took like a ton of videos back to back. I was really obsessed with Dr. Plant. So I kept taking all these videos of Dr. Plant. And then I looked back and I'm like, I didn't catch anything Robin Godfrey or Heather Godfrey had said, because I was so enamored of what she said. I caught a little bit of what Robin did, and I didn't catch much of what Emily did, because I was so focused. I just didn't have my phone out. So yeah, if you find it, whoever posted that, maybe they can put in our Dream Team chat too.
Yeah.
So, all right, short-term immediate goals. So right now we've got that promo. So put it on a sticky note, or put it on your computer or on your phone or whatever. Get somebody free box collagen, or in Canada, get them a free thing of e-shots or a shake, the Creamy Dutch. That can be your short-term goal, and you are helping them. So it's not just about you, but you are also receiving the benefits too. If that's not an easy short-term goal for you, then have some short-term goals that are about your current team, or just doing reach outs or relationship building, but get bold in those and set your intention for the week. It's Wednesday. We are halfway through the week. People start getting busy Friday and Saturday. And so now is the time to be reaching out to them. If they didn't catch the Wealth Wednesday tonight, then send them the recording so that they can watch it on their own time, and say, hey, when do you think you can watch that recording? And if they're like, oh, probably not till like Saturday night, be like, okay, great. Do you want me to remind you? Because I know if you're anything like me, I'll forget. And they'll say yes or no. Would you be opposed to me reminding you? There you go. I'm like, no, I wouldn't be opposed to you reminding me. And so then you take it as you go. So one of the things that I wrote down for leveraging my time, because this is a focus for me, is these short-term goals. If I can earn the extra cash, I want to spend it on self-care, which, guess what? A lot of these self-care things turns right back into prospecting. So self-care, getting pedicures regularly. Self-care is getting massages, and doing things for me that I don't have to do, where I don't have a screaming kid in the background. And I can also talk to these people and develop relationships with them that can go back to collagen. I have not gotten a hair trim in an embarrassing long amount of time. So everybody's like, hey, your hair's so pretty. And I'm like, I really need to take care of it a little bit better. So that's a goal for me. It's something that I can leverage my time so that it's twofold. It's also pouring back into my business. So working on your psychology, on how you frame your tasks, like follow-ups. I get to follow up with people. And so if you need to get into your state, which is, how you see things, like I'm dealing with this weird family drama right now. And that got me kind of like all mad and angry. And my watch tells me that I'm like super stressed about it, right? I'm not going to go reaching out to people when I'm on that frequency. I'm going to go and dance. I'm going to go watch a fun video. I'm going to go get into that peak state. And I'm going to be like, I'm so excited. I get to go check out on my friend Chris. I am so excited. I get to follow back up with, Nicole or with Tiffany or whoever's on my chat right now. I am so excited to be able to do that and get into that peak state, because especially if you do voice messages, they can hear that excitement in your voice and they feel special because they're like, oh my gosh, she really was excited to talk to me. And so some people are going to be like, that's way too much energy for me. That's fine. But some people want to have that kind of energy. So speaking of energy, we talked about energy vampires. And these are the people that they just have a saw in their straw and they're just sucking the energy out of you. These are not the type of people that you truly want on your team. And so you get to decide who you give your time to. And in the beginning, you're just like, I want people. I just want people. And so sometimes it can feel really hard to turn somebody away or not focus on somebody, especially when they're interested. Because I would get a lot of people that are like, Sadie, your weight loss, it's amazing. What are you doing? And I'm like, do I really want to help this person? They've done this, this, and this. This is the type of attitude that they've had, but I will give them the benefit of the doubt and I will talk to them and I will see how they go. And if they are just a Debbie Downer, always giving me excuses, always bringing me people down, know where to cut them off and don't leave them as if they're never going to change. Just set a nice boundary and say, I really wish I could help you. If you're open to this idea and you're ready for it, let's have that chat. In the meantime, how can I support you? I can cheer you on. I can maybe send you some good, healthy memes and stuff. But when you are ready to invest in yourself, like if say they're saying it's too expensive, you know where to find me. And just set that healthy boundary. So watch out for those energy vampires. So if you're ever in a bad mood, serve another human being. So if you're like, oh man, I'm really like sucking today, go do something nice for somebody. Go buy Starbucks for the person behind you in line, or, do something that can really build somebody else up. Write somebody a handwritten card. People really love that type of stuff. And so I do send out cards. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's actually another network marketing company. And I just have a subscription through them. And I can get 30 free cards a month to send out to people. And sympathy cards, thank you cards, welcome to the team cards, birthday cards, all this stuff. And it's a business write-off. So if you guys want information, I can send you to my lady. She's so sweet. And I think honestly, Eric Worre was with that company. So I know it's a good company, and you can just have a subscription if that's something that helps you in your business. Not trying to, plug too much, but just letting you know there's things like that out there. So keep that in mind. Massive action neutralizes negative emotion. That's a good one. Good is the enemy of great. That's a good one. Let's see. Now are some of my notes from Dr. Plant. And if you know me, I'm a geeky science person. So I have a bunch of videos from him. You guys, I can send them to you privately if you want to. But he made this really profound statement. The most powerful health improvement in the world was washing our hands. And if you've ever taken a microbiology class, you know that we have nasty things all over our bodies at all times. There's lots of nasty bacteria. And they used to literally do autopsies on dead people with their bare hands and then go into the next room and deliver a baby without washing their hands. Super nasty. So once they realized, the actual scientist who realized that washing your hands was important was shamed and he killed himself. because nobody believed him until decades after. Well, I don't know exactly how long after, but until after he died, he actually went insane into an insane asylum and he killed himself. And everybody started realizing he was onto something. And then all of a sudden, you know, he's the hero. He is the most amazing thing. So that being said, how did an entire world culture make this change together? It's a small change with drastic improvements. And how that was done by 3 ways. Number 1 is that it was not prescribed, but enforced by loved ones. And that's through culture. So, well, number 1 was that it was not prescribed. Number 3 was that it was enforced by love. And number 2 was that it's not complicated. Sorry, I just blew through that. So number 1, it's not prescribed. It's enforced. So that is something that anybody can do, is wash their hands. Number 2 is that it's not complicated. It's easy. And number 3, it's enforced by love. All 3 of those things we do in Isagenix. Nobody's forcing you to do it. It's not complicated and it's enforced by love. And that is why Dr. Plant came to work for our company. Instead of working at the World Health Organization, he was working with breast cancer research. And he left that because he wanted to prevent it. And that to me was like volumes coming from a nurse who was dealing with everybody in the ER, in the clinic, being very reactive. That's why I'm so geeky, like girl crush on Dr. Plant, like serious. My husband, like he totally was okay with it. So, okay. Eat better, remove toxins, and exercise. You will add 8 to 12 years of your life and live longer. That is something you can put on your story. So how do you do that? Next time you do a cleanse, you know, or, you know, a friend does a cleanse. I just did one on Monday. I'm going to start doing 1 day a week again. The next morning, like Mallory Pitts does, you post on your stories, I just did a cleanse. I feel amazing. I'm so excited to break it with the superfood shake. Who wants to do a cleanse with me next week? Do a poll, yes or no, or yes, or maybe next time, and then reach out to all those people or look at all the people that saw those stories and then get them started, talk to them about the system. Some people are going to need a paradigm shift to happen. And that just takes learning and building that relationship. You can't change somebody's mind if you don't know them very well and you don't know how to change their mind. If you're watching and you're good friends with Roberta for a long time and you see that, oh, she just changed her mind about Nikes versus Reeboks. How did that happen? Maybe you can change your mind about network marketing by using the same concept through a paradigm shift. So let's see. A lot of people go to bed on Sunday night and this is what they do. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to set an alarm. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to release toxins. I'm going to eat all of these, you know, healthy vegetables, fruits and vegetables, and I'm going to do all this stuff, whatever. And it's going to happen. It's Monday. I'm going to go to bed. What do you think happens Monday morning when the alarm goes off? Maybe they actually do wake up, right? And then boom, something happens. Oh, the kid wakes up earlier than normal. Okay, I'm going to compromise a little bit. Okay, I'm going to have this quick, easy breakfast. And then I'm going to eat really good for lunch. And then they don't get to bed in time on that night. And then Tuesday rolls around and then they hit snooze. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to make it up for this, and that, and this, and that. And they go through and they struggle through all this because what did they try to do? They tried to change too many things at once. So instead of doing small changes, easy, sustainable, simple stuff to do, they tried to reinvent the whole wheel in one Sunday night to Monday, and they had a higher chance of failure. So we want to remind our new customers of this too, and our new teammates of this too, not to go overboard. So somebody's like, all right, I just got my 30-day system. You know, I'm going to do a cleanse day. The first day, like, whoa. Let's just get 4 or 5 days of the shakes in. And they're like, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to run tomorrow. I haven't run in 7 years. I'm going to run tomorrow. Well, maybe let's go to walk. Like, how can I help you in smaller increments and cheer them on the whole way, but also empower them? Be like, I know you're going to crush that run, but maybe let's let some of those, you know, let your body like acclimate first. So thinking about that, kind of helping to support them through this so that they don't have a worse experience because they didn't reach what they thought they were going to reach right away. All right. This was probably the most disturbing thing I heard, even worse than the hand washing thing. The children today are expected to live shorter than us. And this is the first time since the Black Plague. So I haven't fact checked that, but Dr. Plant said it, and Dr. Plant is Dr. Plant. So That I believe. How many times do you see children that are obese? It is a fact. It is horrid. It is awful. And you can't say anything about it because people are going to get upset. So the only thing you can do is empower them and show them the way. So keep that in mind. Now, if somebody says to you, I want to lose weight, but I can do it by eating organic and eating healthy and doing all that stuff, say yes. Yes, you absolutely can. You can get the same results that Isagenix offers by eating organic, meal prepping, and getting all of the same nutrients. Now, do you have the time? Do you have the money? Do you have the accessibility to be able to do that? They're going to say no. Like there's nobody out there that has that ability. And I think he said at 1.2, it might be on my next page. One shake has like $18 worth of fruits and vegetables in it. And so keeping that in mind, like you are obviously cost effective with these shakes. So that is a good talking point when you talk to people too, and say, these are the whole blend are cold pressed fruits and vegetables. And it's $18 worth of organic grade broccoli and all of the other, mushrooms and spirulina and all the things that are in our shakes. So $3 to $4 per shake, 1/3 organic meal cost is $3 to $4 is one shake, which is 1/3 of an organic meal cost, is what I'm trying to say. And so when you ask people how much they spend a day, the average person spends $15 to $20 a day on their food. And so they can do that in 2 meals and save, with a $10 to $20 a day plan. So keep that in mind. Our food is designed to satiate you, and it's helps with that ammunition to stay away from temptations. And so I have a customer right now who's like, only a week in, and she's like, I feel like I'm craving more stuff. And I'm like, your body is ridding yourself of those toxins. Give it time. Don't give up. Don't give up. So just empower them not to give up. There are food out there, McDonald's, for example, it's designed to leave you hungrier. Chinese food. How many times have you guys ever had Asian food and you're hungry again in 30 dang minutes? Like ridiculous. So that is another good talking point. Autophagy is a big word. I feel like I'm saying it wrong, but auto means self and phagy means eating. So that's what happens when we cleanse. You actually eat yourself, your fat cells, and you help burn through them. And so that is how the bodies used to be. Did you guys know breakfast wasn't coined until Kellogg came along? So people used to fast through to like lunchtime. And so it was a natural process. And now everybody feels like you need to have lunch. And so you are perfectly safe not eating for the 24 to 48 hours that we do cleanse. So it's 2 times more of, like, our products are 2 times more effective than other companies. Again, this is out of Dr. Plant's words. I don't have that as a fact, like, I don't know that you can Google that and get that fact checked, but you can always say that, like, hey, our chief science officer said that we are 2 times more effective than all the other companies. Now, some companies don't have science-backed research like we do. And so maybe that's why, but more people are often keep the weight off with Isagenix as well. So if they do 6 months and then they quit, never come back, they have a higher chance of keeping it off. We have clinical studies on the e-shots versus the 5-hour energy, and ours have a less opportunity for crash. And so that's a good sciencey talk to bring up to people too. Say, like, our e-shots are scientifically proven to be more effective than gas station energy shots. And looking at the differences between, like, believe me on all of the stuff I'm telling you versus show me. And so that's just another idea that I wrote down that I really liked. And moving on to collagen, he gave this really great example. There's 26 letters in the alphabet. Think of the Scrabble table, right? So you've got all these little tiles with all of these different letters, and you can build billions of words from these 26 tiles. That is how collagen is in our body. You've got all of these walls, these structures of these little tiles, and it is putting these little tiles into the right words to build back your wrinkles, your skin, you know, your rest of your body, the different areas, your joints, you know, all these things, that your hair, these tiles have to be put into the right order. That's what our collagen does. So our collagen brings the tiles to the table. It ensures that your body is creating tiles as well. And it also aligns them in the proper order. And so if you have anybody that orders collagen and they're not seeing results like immediately, bring up that analogy and just say, listen, everybody's Scrabble table looks different. And so yours may be working internally a little bit longer than other people. Some people go external right away. And, you know, just remind them too, like if you want to look at like cleansing, and maybe that will help boost results. If you want to drink more water, if you want to, you know, lower your stress and all that stuff. So you can always segue into some of our other products too, if they're open to it.
I read somewhere, sorry, say that I read somewhere, I was reading an article 2 days ago about collagen. And actually it was a naturopath, like, you know, it was a big article. And he said that collagen goes first in our body where we need it most, not where we want it to go first. Yes. So that goes kind of hand in hand of what you said with the towel example.
It's just like losing weight too. Like you can sit here and be like, I want to lose the weight in my stomach so bad, but you lose the weight in your face and you lose the weight in your boobs. And you're like, wait a second, I didn't want to lose that weight. I want to lose this weight in my butt.
Yes.
So you don't get to control that. But there are other things that you can do. Like I always tell people too, like, hey, we're going to have an amazing skincare line. It's coming from Korea. It's going to be launching this year. And keep in mind, guys, we're almost 20 years old. If you don't think this company is going to go big on their 20th year, like think again. March is going to be our 20th anniversary. And we had like this really cool conversation with a couple people at Live Out Loud. Well, we're like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to do pre-made, you know, protein drinks, like muscle milk type, the pre-made drinks? Like they're all about the ease. They're all about how, like, they are obsessed with the twist and drink. Like that's what he kept talking about and kept referencing, is the ease of access and how, you know, simple this stuff can be for people. And so other people are looking for that in the rest of our products. So we love the little packets of like nitro and hydrate and stuff like that. People want that, especially if they're attracted to our system, because it's so easy. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to come up with. Like, so keeping that in mind. Also, collagen is also based off of genetics too. So he did bring up that Asians are usually really good at producing collagen. It's in their genetics. And you know, reminding people too, like we always say, you stop producing at age 25, but between age 30 and 50, that's when people start to deplete the most. And so if people want to discuss skincare, you know, always recommend to talk to one of our estheticians. We've got Bella, we've got a few other, Naomi, we've got a few other people that are estheticians and med spa owners specifically. You can always say, hey, I'd love for you to connect with one of them and maybe they can give you some other advice. But, you know, just knowing things like exfoliate once a week, you know, like go on to Instagram or Pinterest and like save some skincare routine tips. Like myths, debunking myths. Like I'm supposed to, you know, use 17 different products on my face. No, like debunk that stuff. And it just gives you a little bit more credibility. You don't need to know everything, but having some of these little talking points to share with people, just to show that, like, you know, you've got some knowledge in this area. You're not just be like, I just know collagen, that's it. Like you can share like a little bit about retinol. You know, you can share like, hey, if you put topical collagen on, it's too big to permeate through your skin. Just saying. And like, trying to stay the most natural, like aloe plants, you know, coconut oil, like things like that, like knowing that that is going to be much better than going to the drugstore and buying one of these chemically processed type things. So that is just another pro tip. Remember, people over profit. That's just a simple one. This is a profound statement too. When you're talking to people, say the term, I can see you being a leader on this team. I can see you being a speaker on that stage. I can see you sharing this and earning a residual income. You are putting them into this position where I can see you doing that. Can you see you doing that? I literally, after the training, I went on and I texted somebody and I was like, I can see you being a speaker. I know he wants to be a speaker. I'm like, it may not be through the Isogenic stage, but I can see you. And I pictured you there. And he was like in love with that. I know I would be too. So that was a good statement. Remembering you can't outrun a fork. I think Robin said that. Let's see. Who wants to do a cleanse with me? Go on to isaproduct.com and say you are like, I want to talk about the natural accelerator. Go on isaproduct.com and they have the bullet points right there for you. And so look on, what it says about everything. It helps boost metabolism. It's, natural, blah, 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 blah. Take those bullet points and like you're almost exactly copying and pasting or screenshotting and putting those on your stories with you sharing that natural accelerator and be like, I'm going to take a natural accelerator. So that's just one example. You can do that with the Harvest Thins, the Whey Thins, the Isa Delight chocolates, the shakes, any of our products, the collagen. Take the bullet points right off of that website and boom. That gives you a good talking point as well. Jake Havern made a really good statement here too. If somebody does not have trust in you, in the company or in the product, they're not going to order from you. Now, Eric Worre used to say that there are two reasons why people won't sign up. They don't trust themselves or they don't trust the industry of network marketing. And Jake broke it down a little bit further. So if they're not signing up, you've got to try to figure it out. Like, are they just not convinced that Isagenix is a good company? Let me enlighten you. What are you missing with the company? Like, do you need to know more about our background? Send them some information. Maybe they don't understand the product. They're like, I'm not convinced collagen is a thing. I don't believe it. Send them some information on it. And then maybe they just don't trust you yet. And so you have to understand and come to terms with that and find a way to gain their trust. And sometimes that means providing value back to them. Do they own a car wash? Recommend your friends go to that car wash. Promote that. Show yourself a selfie at the car wash and be like, about time to get my old, 4 wheels on under a car wash. So promote value and give back to them. And then they'll start to earn your trust a little bit more. Also thinking about an analogy with your alarm system. People don't put alarm systems on their house until there's a break-in. And sometimes it's their neighbor. Their neighbor gets broken into. And then they're like, I need an alarm system. It's just like people don't always bring their cars into get their engine checked until the engine check light is on. People don't go to the doctor until something is wrong. That is the type of mentality we want to bust past. So when you are bringing things up with people about, don't wait until there's a break-in. Don't wait until your check engine light's on. Don't wait until there's a heart attack or a diagnosis or a medication. Don't wait until you're reactive. Be proactive. Like today, I had a well woman's exam and I was talking to them too. They kept telling me, they're like, you don't really need this for a while. You're normal. And I'm like, I need to have this for my own self-promotion because preventative measures are important. And so that is a good thing to keep in mind. Now, finally, the last note that I had, which was the set hours operation, language like a CEO, launch party, drive to the next rank, become BFFs with Penny, go for the no, is utilize our tools like elixirlaunch.com. I don't think I've sent that to anybody yet. It's still fairly new, but we have the Facebook groups that you can add people into. Add tag message. Add them to the ISA focus, tag them in one of our posts, and then message them and say, what did you think? Like I tagged you in this, check it out. And that is huge because they see other people. And so if you're like, hey, Sadie had a great transformation with her stomach with the collagen. I'm going to add you to our collagen support group, tag them in like the women's paid pictures and message them later. Hey, did you see Sadie's stomach? Like, isn't that incredible? Like, did you see the other pictures too? Like, it blows my mind. So keep that in mind. There was another PVC photo, video, chat or something. I don't think I wrote that down. I thought I was going to remember it, of course, but always put people in a 3-way chat. And this is one thing that I think I do a lot of 3-way conversations with Robin, and Robin is accessible. She is always available for this, but I think sometimes it's important to reach out to people that are more at your peer level as well. Like we want people to be inspired by how well Robin has done. We want people to be inspired by all of her success and stuff too. But sometimes that might scare people a little bit because they're like, whoa, that's a lot. Like we all have access to Emily Vavra too. Like I have her Calendly app and you can schedule a 3-way validation call with her anytime you want. She is accessible to everybody that wants to do the business. And sometimes that is too much for somebody. They want to hear from somebody like me. I've only been doing this for 2 years. I've made 5-figure income, which is great. You know, like you can bring stuff like that. That's a little bit more easier to comprehend sometimes because they're too afraid of how much they are going to have to put in time wise and commitment wise. If you are showing yourself constantly messaging people and doing all this stuff, like people see that and you're teaching them that that's what they need to do to have to your level of success. And so I have to remember that too. Like sometimes I will send somebody a couple of voice memos, more than just one. And then they're automatically thinking like, oh my God, I have to send 3 or 4 voice messages to 20 people a day. I can't do that. I work a full-time job. I have 18 kids. Like I can't do these things. So you're setting them up to believe that this is really a lot of work. And so keeping it simple, using the tools, find things that work for you and know that it's not just subject to just Team VisionCast or just Dream Team. You can use the global Isagenix calls, which are at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Wednesday. Use our Art of Wellbeing Wealth Wednesdays that are at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Like you can utilize whatever calls you would like. Like go on to download the Vimeo app. It is the Video Central and follow Isagenix on there. It's kind of like YouTube, but they're all these short videos that like I have a notification right now that Isagenix uploaded new videos. And so you can go on there and see these new videos and you can either share those directly to, that was the video I just got a notification for. You can show these videos and send them off to people. And so just copy and paste that and then they can open it in a browser. And so you don't have to use the same tools over and over again. There's another app that I found really helpful. Casey Tom told me about it. It's called WordBoard. And it's kind of like the predictive text, but so much easier. And so it's a whole new keyboard that you attach to like the bottom of your keyboard. And I've got a new friend in there. I've got an order information, my signature block, a little quote that I like to send people about believing in yourself. I partner with entrepreneurs, a collaboration one. I've got college and money back. I've got a poll idea. I've got an adaptogen video. So I save videos to there. And so instead of trying to remember like, what was that predictive text I did for that one video, I can just hit a tile and it shows up. So it does take a few minutes to get set up, but if you're struggling with that predictive text because you can't remember like what the keys were to do it, then this is just a good idea. And I put a whole bunch of videos and stuff up in there just to easily access them. So I just probably spoke 2 million words in a row because I'm so excited and so thrilled and I wanted to get through all my notes and stuff and share with you guys. But we've got about 8 minutes left before the Wealth Wednesday. So do you guys have any wins or any takeaways or any bits of, you know, knowledge that really hit home with you today? Like, let's have a discussion the last few minutes here.
I liked the statement from Saturday that one of the presenters said. It was courage over comfort.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was something to keep in the back of your mind.
Absolutely.
Get out of your comfort zone.
For sure. I'm telling you, like this summer has been uncomfortable for me all summer. I not just with Isagenix stuff, but like all over the place. And all I keep thinking is like, this is growth. This is massive growth in my life. And if I don't do it now, then when? And I keep thinking, I'm like, now is not the time. And I'm like, but there will never be a good time. And so what we do now will have a 90-day echo. And so if you are doing 20 reach outs a day and none of these people are signing up now, wait 90 days and see how much the crops will grow and how you can harvest then. There is going to be times throughout the year where it is a planting season and you are planting these seeds and you're just sitting there waiting and staring at them for to grow. They're just not going to grow yet until they've been watered and cared for and gotten plenty of sunshine. And, then it's time to harvest. You don't want to harvest them too early. Got to wait till timing's just right. So July is notoriously the slowest month in all of network marketing. So if anybody got discouraged in July, that's all of us. And the fall is really when things start to heat up because people are back in routine with school and they want to get fit before the holidays. And so we're going to start doing a lot of different challenges and stuff. So lean into those because people are going to want to jump on those trains leading up to Halloween, after Halloween, leading up to Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving, leading up to Christmas, after Christmas. So start planning and working on that crop now.
I have a question.
Yes.
They're having a Super Saturday here in October. Where do I find that information? All I've seen is the badge and people's names on where is it?
So sometimes the company will put it on, if you go into isogenicsbusiness.com, then business.com, there is an events area on there, and Live Out Loud was on there, and the Super Saturday in California was on there. And so if it's a big enough Super Saturday, they will put it on there to share with people. So I would check there. Otherwise, go on the Isogenics Instagram and see if there's anybody who posted it or who's commenting on it or anything like that, and see if you can try to hunt it down.
What does it entail? Do you know?
So it's for new people, you want to bring new customers and new people to it. That was the event that got Robin fired up, and so she had already ordered. So I don't know if you want to bring prospects to it, but it's going to be a lot of personal development training. It's going to be kind of like Live Out Loud, but usually it's only one or two presenters. So it's on a smaller scale. And so I don't know how the name Super Saturday got coined, but they're trying to do them literally everywhere is trying to pop up. They're trying to do one in Wisconsin right now. They're doing them in different pockets where there's a big community of people. And so, so that is how you want to kind of look for those. And now I'm trying to find the events. Maybe it's ISA events or something.
I think isogenicsevents.com. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Isogenics. I know sometimes I feel like there's a lot of websites. And so it's if you just Google it,
Yeah.
New Year Kickoff Celebration, University of Isogenics University, associate run events. That is going to be where you'll find Live Out Loud, Wellbeing Brand Ambassador Happy Hour in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's from Del Rey. That's September 16th. Elevate to Executive, Madison, Wisconsin, September 17th. Elevate to Executive in Wisconsin again. Momentum in Nashville, Tennessee. Super Saturday, Denver, Colorado. Super Saturday, Dallas, Texas. Casey, Tom, Lindsay, Winya, Delray, Messer, Hayden, Vavra, October 2nd, 2021, 10 a.m. Central, Farmers Branch Community Recreation Center. Cost $25. So you can register on isogenicsevent.com. Dallas. I don't know if Amy would want to go to that. I'll have to check in on Amy. She hasn't been doing it.
Asked her already.
Did you? What'd she say?
No. It's been asked for a while, but I wish I knew some other people here in Texas. One of the persons too far.
Yeah. Texas is too dang big. I'm telling you. California is big too. They'll invite me to these events and I'm like, do you know how far away that is? I'm like my friends will send me pictures. They're like, look at this beautiful beach. I'm like, that's 10 hours from me. Sorry. Can't go to that. So yeah, check those out. There's some others on here too. There's one in New Jersey. So if you know people, Gilbert, Arizona, if you know people in these areas, send them this information and just be go. It's going to be a fun time. You're going to learn a lot. And so, yeah.
Mhm.
Any other questions or other exciting news or wins or anything like,
So I signed up a customer yesterday.
yay?
So I actually, I know I've been kind of like not joining for a while. I know it's almost 9:30, but just I'll be quick. Because I've done a lot of reach outs for the past few months, and then I've got a lot of no's or a lot of, I'll get back to you, whatever, but then they don't. So that kind of put me in a way that, like discouraged me, because I'm like I know the collagen is amazing and it's working for me or whatever. So that knows kind of discouraged me. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give all of these folks some time because they are in my regular life, so they see me all the time. And then I'm gonna start venturing out with reach outs. So I kind of started, actually was the person that I just met last week at the dental office. She was the hygienist. So, we were talking, one thing led to another. And then I sent her a card yesterday. This is the one that I was asking about the collagen. But yeah, and then she signed up. So I want to try to sign up somebody else this week so we can get double pips.
Yes.
So hopefully
Make
it
that your
works out.
short-term goal. Put your intention out there and just, do it and just, leverage her story, and see who else do you know that's a dental hygienist, or, like you can even like go to another dentist office and, like walk in and like ask them for information and just say, hey, listen, I'm looking, at dentists around here. And, it's kind of like salon hopping, but, with dentists, and just like, oh, if they have a bulletin board, be like, can I leave my information here?
There.
Collagen. Yeah. And just like strike up a conversation. You never know. Like, I just signed up a dental hygienist. She understands the importance of collagen because of how it roots in our teeth and how we're made up of collagen and all this stuff, whatever. And so,
and then they have the mask all day. So that was a thing she mentioned, because now they have a mask, so it's causing like more of the wrinkles and stuff like that. So that's
immune system, as well, because they're in people's mouths all day.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly.
they can say, oh, I don't have any symptoms, but like they're literally like in people's like saliva and they're coughing and breathing on you. So like this helps with the immune system too. So
yeah. So hopefully I get more yeses, because that no, the last few months, honestly, like kind of put me down, and I know they work. So I don't, but I'm back. Back up.
When you start getting those no's turning around to yeses, like it's like amazing. Like I had people that told me never, and months later they signed up. I had people tell me no and then find my website somewhere and order. And I'm like, what? Like just blows my mind, because consistency is key. You have to keep showing up and showing these people that like you are still doing this, you are still all in. That you're not stopping. And so keep sharing and keep, putting it out there, and just, telling people too, putting them just like, I can just see you doing so well at what I do. And I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you that you could share this with 2 people, blah, 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 blah. So, all right, well, let's hop over to the Hayden Wealth Wednesday call tonight and see if you can learn some more goods. And if he mentions sweating, then he's okay. So, all right, guys, have a good night. Thank you for coming on.